I'm here with Grace O'Broder and continuing with our new podcast series, KH Amplified. And I'm going to be reflecting with Grace a little bit about her time here over the last 6 years and in her capacity as school captain. So Grace, welcome.
Thank you.
So Grace, looking back on your 6 years here at KH, what moments stand out as the most defining for you personally and as a leader?
Well, I think the first one that comes to mind is definitely our journey towards the Claudia Turney Cup final last year with the hockey team, purely because it taught me so much about who I am in a pressurized situation. It taught me so much about making quick decisions, but it also taught me the value of dedication, of commitment, of good teamwork and good leadership, which we definitely had on the team that year. And I think that's what got us to the final in the first place. So it's just such a valuable experience that I learned so much from. And then from a personal standpoint, I was given an amazing opportunity in 5th year to partake in the Rotary Youth Leadership Development Competition, which really broadened my horizons towards, what a good leader is, what a good leader can do for any sort of group, any community, any team. And it taught me a lot about leadership in a very direct way as well.
Excellent. And of course, that was one of my early abiding memories of once joining KH, of the Claudia Tierney success. And of course, your welcome home will always live in your memory, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Grace, you've been able to balance academics, sport, as you just mentioned there, music and leadership throughout your time at KH, because you can often feel pulled in many different directions while you want to make sure that you're giving your optimum in each of them. Mm-hmm. So how have you been able to do that, balance all of that together while I suppose as well, and particularly this year, maintaining that sort of commitment to the prefect leadership team?
Yes, I think it's definitely a question about, prioritizing what's really important to you. And for me, being part of the prefect team this year has been something really important to me. I just really wanted to give back to the school, and it was a great honor to be a part of something like that. So I think once you decide on what your priorities are, it's just the value of committing to them without question. As well as, learning skills like time management and stuff have been so important to me over the last 6 years. And, juggling all of these things, I think, has been really beneficial in developing my personality, my time management, and my communication with various people, and my decision-making skills as well.
Yeah, and of course, from the outset, you were talking about the success with Claudia Tierney with the hockey team, and I suppose there's parallels in working in the prefect body group as well as being part of the hockey team. And what sort of skills do you think both of those have enabled you to develop in particular? I suppose in particular over the last couple of years.
Well, I definitely think communication is the most important one to me. In being like co-captain this year, we've learned a lot. Myself and Orla have learned a lot about leading as a pair. And so, the value of good communication has been like really highlighted to me this year. And also, that's a huge theme in the prefect team as well. We have our weekly meetings, and everyone gets a chance to share their voice, share their opinion. And I think that's when we're most productive, is when everyone feels like their views have been respected and seen. And it's more than just, those little teams. Of course, as a prefect team, we're representative of our year and of what, the students across the school want as well. So I think good communication and being respectful of making sure everyone feels listened to is the most important one to me.
That's a really important message, actually, that voice. That voice. And I think it's something that the school carries very, very well here. And I'll explore that a little bit more. But just thinking about the values here at the school, compassion, curiosity, and integrity, which of those values feels most personal to you after 6 years?
I would definitely say compassion. Just because everything we've spoken about so far, the KH community, and the supportive relationships between the staff and the students, it's all built on compassion. And I was so lucky to travel to Zambia last year. And that for me really highlighted the KH community as a whole is just such a compassionate one, which is good to see us fulfilling our values. But it just really showed me the power of compassion and what it can do for, a community so far away in Zambia. And, we're just a group of students from a secondary school, and we were able to actually make a difference. So I suppose the power of that is completely unmatched. And it was good to see, it was really rewarding to see that all of the hard work paid off, all of the hard work from Miss Murray and from the students, but all of that was driven by compassion, and I think in society, it's what inspires us the most is our compassion for various issues and things.
Yeah, no, I think I definitely would allude with that and certainly agree with that. And of course, I suppose, you've had over the years many opportunities for trips, and that's another great opportunity here at the school for students, isn't it? To avail of seeing the curriculum develop before their eyes through trips, but also charitable trips and supporting others. So it's lovely to hear that reflection. And thinking about the experiences that you shared with us so far, was there a particular teacher, coach, or mentor at the school who's had a major influence on your development and the impact that they've had?
I feel like I can't specifically single out a certain person, just because I feel like I've been impacted in so many ways by a variety of people. I mean, from junior school, I've had teachers and mentors and coaches that have inspired my love of learning, inspired my love of hockey. And then in senior school, my teachers taught me, how to have a good work ethic and the power in, really just putting your head down and, going for your goals with no question about it. So I think they've all taught me different things that have been really valuable and that I will carry with me. And so I feel like I can't single anyone out, but yeah, they've all inspired me in different ways.
Lovely to hear that, Grace, and says everything about you and that team spirit and that team ethic and how important that is. So fair play to you. So KH places a strong emphasis on participation, community and personal growth, not just achievement. So how did that culture, or how has this culture shaped your attitude towards success and also setbacks?
I think in terms of success, one of the very unique things about our school is the way in which we celebrate student participation alongside student success. And I think that's a really important message because for me, of the experiences I've had, it hasn't been the successes or the outcomes that have been the best learning experiences or the most defining ones. It's been the journeys or the experience to getting there. So I think participation is even more important than success in that way. And in terms of setbacks, I think the KH community is such a supportive one that you can really lean on. I think, sports and leadership have taught me very quickly that, failure is something that you will come across all the time. And it's good to have such a supportive community around you that you can lean on, that you can develop resilience from those experiences as well.
That brings us back to that value you were talking about and that you most align with compassion.
Yeah.
So again, another great example of it. So yes, KH definitely has a strong sense of community, I would say, and I'm sure you agree, between day students, boarders, younger students, and the older students and the staff. How important has that sense of belonging been in shaping your experience here?
For me, it's been incredibly important because I live on campus. So the KH community is so important to me. But I think it is, again, something really unique about our school. I mean, you don't often get the experience to grow up alongside, boarders from Germany, Spain, China, like all over the world. And I think that it's really broadened all of our perspectives. In my year, as we were leaving, you could really see that. And so I think that we're very lucky to have that. And then also the relationships between students and staff that you were mentioned, they're just so supportive. And I think, sometimes we don't always acknowledge how much our teachers go above and beyond for us. And I think it really makes a difference, not just to the quality of the education, but to, the outcome, who you leave as, as a person as a whole.
Yeah. And I'm sure your staff or colleagues for myself will be hearing this podcast and we really appreciate very much what you've just said. Now, you've mentioned already, Grace, you've mentioned the Claudia Tierney Success, of course, which is a memory. You've mentioned the Rotary Association that you partook in, and then that took you to the European Parliament. And you alluded also earlier to the charitable initiative that you were involved with Zambia. So those have been more in your latter parts, the last 3 years. What about early years at the school? Any big memories from your first 3 years here at the school?
I think my favorite memories to look back on were kind of the summer term and being with, my class and we had a really nice base class with some really lovely teachers that made that experience so nice. But we had, we did come into the school during COVID. So that was, we didn't really get to know each other until the first year was up, and we took our masks off and we didn't know even what each other looked like. So wow. I think second and third year was really when we got to bond with our year. And I remember we had this hockey trip to Banbridge, and we got to watch the EY teams playing. And I think that was when, like, myself and the other girls on the team now, we all, decided that we really had a love for the sport, and it brought us a lot closer together. But yeah, I think small, experiences, just daily, summer sports, enjoying tennis outside in the sun. I think that's what really brought us together.
That's lovely memories. And of course you do take for granted what we have now, and we forget it wasn't so long ago. Of course, we did have the pandemic, and and just you sharing that just puts it back into context, that first year that you've experienced here at the school. So what would you, we're now near the end of your time here. So what advice would you give the younger generation of KH students about making the most of the opportunities here?
Well, I think we're very lucky that we've such a wealth of opportunities available to us. And my advice would be to just, if you've even the slightest instinct that you want to try something, even if it's something you wouldn't normally go for, the worst that can happen is it doesn't work out for you, and that's okay. I think that one of the biggest regrets you can have when leaving school is not taking, not availing of all of these opportunities. And, I've definitely tried to do that as I've gone through the 6 years and try everything that I want to, but some things haven't worked out for me, and it's more been about learning what I'm not good at or what I don't enjoy. But then the opportunities that did work out for me, like the Rotary or Zambia, have been extremely formative and, such amazing experiences. So it's what can come of deciding to take that leap and try something new is, it doesn't compare to if you just, decide to keep it safe. So yeah. I think the worst thing that can happen is that it doesn't work out. So you may as well just try.
Very good. So push yourself, give it a go. You don't know where it's going to take you. Let's go and see. Wonderful advice. So Grace, if you had 3 words in which you could describe your journey at the King's Hospital, what would they be?
I would say transformative, challenging, and empowering.
Wow, those wonderful 3 words to share with the community. And Grace, you are obviously about to embark on your leaving cert, which we obviously wish you the very, very best with.
Thank you.
And then you will then become an alumni. And of course, one of the things that we're working very hard on is making sure that our alumni stay in touch. And we really hope that you will stay in touch. This is your school. You're always welcome back. And of course, our current students and our future generation of KH students will want to hear and understand what the pathway is, what it's been like for you as you embark onto university, and hopefully into a career of medicine. So we will be wishing you all the very best, Grace. We're ever so proud of everything you've done here at the school, and we wish you nothing but success and continued good fortune as you leave and embark on your exams and beyond. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us all your experiences here at the King's Hospital.
Thank you so much.